How about you, Mr. Anthony? What's that? Well, I'll try not to give you anything to complain about. Tonight's final, number 5 ranked Kentucky 93, Louisville 85. Kentucky moves to 10-1 on the season. Louisville is now 6-5. Kentucky leads the series 40-17, has won the last 3 games. UK leads 22-5 in games played in Lexington and has won the last 8 meetings in Rupp Arena. Next for Kentucky, the Wildcats have fall semester examinations this week before traveling to New York City for a Saturday matchup with Ohio State in the CBS Sports Classic. Game time is 5:30 p.m. Game will be played in Madison Square Garden. Wildcats now 10-1 for the first time since the 2016-17 season. Tallying 93 points tonight, the Wildcats enter the game leading the nation in scoring at 91.1 points per game. 5 Wildcats scored in double figures. It's the 7th time in 11 games that at least 5 Cats have hit double digits in scoring. Kentucky shot 58.2% from the field. 5th time this season the Wildcats have shot at least 50%. And UK shot a season-high 52.4% on 3-pointers, making 11 out of a season-low 21 attempts. One of the nation's top assist teams coming into tonight's game. UK had 23 assists on its 32 made baskets. That's an assist percentage of 71.9. Key factor for the Wildcats tonight, fast break points. UK won 24-4 on fast break points. UK also won the rebounding 41-31 and has won or tied the rebounding in all but one game this season. Wildcats led, of course, by Lamont Butler's 33 points tonight. That included 10 of 10 from the field, 6 of 6 on three-pointers. The 10 of 10 field goals ties for the third best game in UK history. Rodney Dent made 12 out of 12 against Moorhead on December 17, 1993. Kenny Walker hit 11 of 11 against Western Kentucky on March 16, 1986. And Justin Edwards just matched this last season, had 10 of 10. Edwards' game came against Alabama on February 24 of 2024. So again, Butler ties the third most field goals made for a perfect game in school history, 10 out of 10. Also made 6 out of 6 on three-pointers. That is the second most for a perfect game in UK history. The record is Winion Gabriel hitting 7 of 7 against Alabama on March 10, 2018. And of course, Butler coming in with 6 out of 6 in this game. The three-pointers also tied the most for a UK player in a game versus Louisville. Jeff Brasso had 6 long shots against the Cardinals on December 29, 1990. And the 33 points most by a Wildcat this season. UK also got 17 points from Otega Owe, and he's continued a streak of scoring in double figures in every game this season. Jackson Robinson added 12, and 10 each for Kobe Brea and Andrew Carr. Louisville also had 5 players in double figures, led by Chucky Hepburn with 26 points and Terrence Edwards with 23. Not sure about the order of coaches tonight, where we'll be going with whichever coach is ready to come to the podium first. Another note on Jackson Robinson. In addition to his 12 points, he tied his career high for rebounds with 8. Okay, all right.
I want to give Kentucky credit. Played a great game. It was a great college atmosphere. I thought it was a great college game. Lamont Butler was magnificent. I still see that kid in my nightmares because we played against them when I was the head coach at the College of Charleston, and he was the point guard at San Diego State. And we played an epic battle in the first round. And he's just a warrior. He's a winner. You know, and he's been out the last couple games, and there was all these, you know, people were talking about whether he's going to play or not. I was like, that cat's playing in this game. You can mark that one down. He is a stone-cold killer and a really, really good player. And, you know, he's obviously a good shooter, but he's more of an attacking downhill driver. I want to say I might have this wrong. He's got 7 made threes on the year, and he made 6 tonight. You know, a lot of them, you know, made tough shots, big shots. We had momentum, and he stopped the momentum with a lot of those threes. We had a couple really bad defensive breakdowns on a couple of his wide-open threes. But, you know, I know I'm spending a lot of time on him. They have a very, very good team. They're very deep. You guys have heard me talk about the job that I think Mark's doing. He's doing a great job with this group. But I'm proud of our guys. You know, we're it's no secret that we're a little shorthanded in terms of the depth. We had a lot of guys that played a whole lot of minutes tonight, but they never quit. Kentucky made some huge runs on us, and I thought our guys responded with resiliency every time and brought the game back to a 1 or 2 possession game. But that last big burst that they made and the plays they made, and you know, it was just too much for us. So proud of our guys, but I give Kentucky credit.
Okay, we'll begin first with questions for student athlete Terrence Edwards. 23 points tonight. Questions for Terrence.
Yeah, Terrence, you talked after the game Wednesday night about, you know, just how much you were trying, you know, just how much this game was meaning to you coming into it. When you're playing shorthanded, what did you think about whether you guys fought back and kept it close throughout the entire game, despite being shorthanded, and, you know, this also being your first true road game of the season?
I give credit to my coaches. You know, our program is built on don't make excuses. So we come into every game, we knowing that we're shorthanded, but we don't think about those things. We come in every game prepared like no other team in the country, and we come in and we try to win every game.
Who else? Question for Terrence. Anyone else?
What was the message there with Kentucky starting so hot out of the gate? You know, I think they made 7 shots in a row. What was the message in the huddle and just in terms of trying to, you know, keep the team together during those runs?
Just got to keep going. It's a high-level game. Kentucky is a good team, so we already know they was going to come in and make shots. So them making 7 in a row, we just went to the huddle, so we just got to keep going, keep fighting. You know, war by war. So you can't think about teams that's really good that hit shots. You just have to keep moving forward and think about, like, what's next.
Terrence, what was your mentality? I think you picked up your 4th foul pretty early or midway through the second half. You were still able to kind of be aggressive. What was your mentality when you were playing there with 4 fouls in a game like this?
I just want to shout out my teammates. You know, they kept me in there. I got a little frustrated, you know, picking up that 4th foul kind of early. So I got to give a shout out to my teammates for sure. They kept me in there, and I know the team really needed me. So I just came in and tried to play a big role and try to bring us back to win. But of course we came up short. But yeah, I just want to give a shout out to my teammates, man. We just give confidence to each other, you know, knowing our circumstances and stuff with the team, with guys going down. So we just stay positive. We know this thing finna click. It's finna click real soon. So we just stay positive and keep going.
Terrence, speaking of things clicking from beyond the three-point line for you guys tonight, you guys shot 36% as a team. Yourself, you made 5 tries from deep. Anything different about the three-point shooting tonight in terms of the quality of the looks for yourself and your teammates, or was it just a case of shots finally going in?
Just playing, guys on our team, man, we work every day through the week, off days, shoot after practice, shoot before practice. Like, everybody in that locker room right now that's wearing red, like, really, really works. And whether shots are going in or not, we going right back to the gym tomorrow and we're working. Like, it'd be 2-3 guys on one gun on one end, and the other end it might be 4 guys down there. Like, we're filling up the gym every day and we getting up our shots. It's just a matter of time when this thing really get going and those shots go in, and it's gonna be hard to beat us.
Okay, last one for Terrence back here.
Terrence, right here in the back. Just that rivalry game in general, how would you describe the intensity of the atmosphere and just the back and forth of it all, first time experiencing it?
I thought it was great. I wish I could do it again. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's the most greatest atmosphere I ever played in. As far as coming into a game, I was just extra excited, and our team was too. Wearing this Louisville across our chest, we don't take it for granted, and we knew this game was huge. And we came in, tried to answer to a couple runs, came up short, but yeah. It's like no other. Guys at the hotel, when you come out and you see the L's down and stuff like that, that really makes you want to win the game. But, yeah, it was a great atmosphere.
Terrence, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, you have questions for Coach?
Hey, Pat, here you go in the middle. Louisville hadn't been very competitive in this rivalry in the last couple of years. How important do you think it was to show up on the road shorthanded and fight for 40 minutes?
Yeah, it's a great, great rivalry. I said it the other day in our press conference, not only in collegiate basketball, but I think it's one of the really cool rivalries in all of American sports. We have to do our part and win some to continue to make it a rivalry. And obviously, we came up short tonight, but it's hard to truly describe, and I think all you out here that are Kentuckians, you guys understand, but nationally, especially in our city of Louisville and here in Lexington as well, how much this rivalry means. It is, house is divided, obviously, but man, they reminded me early and often, every single day, every time I get gas, every time I go get something to eat in the community, hey, Coach, how you doing? You going to beat Kentucky this year? So I get it. And what a great thing it was. It was awesome. You have to sometimes get above the trees and have a little bit of perspective of what you're doing and where you're at. And I try to stay present every single day and keep blinders on and work in helping our team become the best they can be. But I'm going to be honest with you, when I walked out there today, the pageantry of the Louisville-Kentucky rivalry hit me. And I looked around and, I saw the atmosphere, and this is before the jump ball went up. And I did take a minute to truly appreciate how special it was. But like I said, whatever it is, 365 days till the next time we play again, and I'm going to be reminded about 4 million times when that game's coming up, and we'll be looking forward to it.
Pat, you mentioned being familiar with Lamont before this. Watching back on film, preparing for this game, how different does this team look in the 8 games they played with him versus the 2 they played without him?
Well, your point guard's your quarterback. Obviously, the kid, too, Robinson, is a point guard as well, but Lamont's the head of the snake, And to beat it, you got to cut the head of the snake off, and it's hard because he's a warrior. He's a disciplined player. He's a phenomenal defender. I didn't know if he remembered me or not, but he came over and he was dapping everybody up at the scores table when he walked past me. I was like, "You remember?" He goes, "Oh yeah, I remember you." I have a lot of respect for him. But yeah, it's like us if Chucky Hepburn went out. We're a different team without Chucky Hepburn. The best point guards, I believe, you give them the ball at 5:15 in the afternoon and they give it back to you safe and sound at 7:15. And that's what that kid did tonight. You know what? We got one too. Because Chucky Hepburn's one of the best point guards in the country. So is Lamont Butler, but Chucky Hepburn is too. And oh, by the way, the kid sitting next to me, he was a beast tonight. And I love what he said about staying resilient, staying in the gym, continuing to be consistent in his work, and it's starting to pay off. He's had a tough month and a half. I mean, heck, he came out of the starting lineup. He's still out of the starting lineup. Phenomenal attitude. Plays in an atmosphere like this and plays darn near the game of his life, and I'm really proud of him.
Pat, you guys have been and will be shorthanded for the rest of the season. You guys have made no excuses. For this team to show grit at home like they did maybe last weekend against Duke is one thing. To do it on the road in this environment is another thing. Did you learn anything more about this group?
No, I was pretty clear, the makeup and the fabric of our guys. They say that the game doesn't build character, but it reveals it, and our guys continue to show character by fighting through some of this adversity. And, we'll have Kadir back soon. Probably, not probably, next week for Florida State. We won't have him back, but, we're hoping right after Christmas he'll be back, and that'll be a big boost from a depth standpoint. Obviously, he's a very versatile player, and we need him. So we're looking forward to that, and have an extra body and have a little bit more depth, and it'll help us moving forward.
Pat, you referenced Terrence coming off the bench now. The last 3 games, he's put together some really good scoring nights for you guys. Has anything about that move maybe just reinvigorated him on the offensive end?
I don't know. You'd have to ask him. People ask me, Dan Schulman asked me, well, why did he come out of the lineup? I'm like, I don't know, just trying to figure out buttons to push. And, hey, I make a bunch of dumb decisions, but he's played pretty well the last 2 games coming off the bench. Now, like every player, players are competitors, and Terrence is a team guy, and he's about the team first and foremost. But that cat wants to start now. He wants to start. He's a decorated player. He's a winning player, championship player over the years at James Madison. And, we'll see how it is moving forward. But, Noah Waterman's a guy that has had some struggles lately. Made 3 big threes for us tonight, playing against his former coach. Had 12 stinking rebounds, 6 offensive. You talk about how many minutes our guys have to play and the standard of their hustle and their grit and the tenacity. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of Noah. 12 rebounds in a big game like this, made 3 big threes. That was big for him.
Hey, Pat, as you noted in your opening statement coming in this game, Lamont had only made 7 threes this year, so he makes 7 in this one game. Is that something where you tell your team hey, we don't want to give up open shots to other guys, and we'll just live with that?
Well, obviously we had him, so we have these dots, if you will, in recruiting, and we had him obviously red first as driver, attacker first. He's a freight train and a bowling ball getting downhill and putting foul pressure and getting to the rim. We obviously knew that he was a good, open, feet-set three-point shooter. But obviously we didn't adjust fast enough because, man, when he got looks today, ball got in the air, it was like touched by God. That thing was going in. On his 6'1", Chucky fell down or, he was mad at himself because he kind of gambled in the huddle, or gambled off the ball. And the ball lands in Lamont's hands, and he goes, and I just turned around, and I just stared at my staff, and I just looked. I go, no way the 6'1's going in. Bang, the crowd goes nuts, and I was like, oh, my gosh. So give him credit. Tipped the cap, made big shots tonight, and he was the difference in the game.
Yeah, Pat, back here. You spoke on those lapses defensively that kind of, keyed their big runs. Was there any kind of a common theme with those lapses? Anything you saw that, was it just different issues each time, or was it kind of just like the same thing happening again?
No, it was a lot of things. I'll have to watch the tape and go back. A couple times, like I said, were just complete gambles where I think one time there was a post mismatch and we kind of ran, and we thought it was a post mismatch. Noah had him. We didn't want to trap, kind of ran at the ball, kicked out for an open 3. I think he got a wide open 1 in transition. I'd have to go back and look at it, but it was kind of a lot of things. And I don't think it was as much like, hey, we didn't respect his ability to shoot. We just had several lapses, both in transition, ball screen defense, off-ball screening defense, and the kids stepped up and made big ones.
Pat, what was your view of the little dust up there in front of the bench? See what happened?
Yeah, I mean, kid made a hustle play, kind of fell into our bench, and I don't think it was any big deal. It was funny, Lamont. I'm acting like me and Lamont are boys. He's a senior, right? Right. So he's in his 5th year. So if I say nice things about him, it's not like I'm trying to get him out of the portal or something like that. So he falls into the bench, and Lamont comes over, and he's grabbing him, I'm grabbing him. I look at him, and we both smile, like, we're good. Officials did a great job with it. It was really no big deal.
Okay. Anyone else? Got one here in the back.
Yeah, Pat, you've praised Chucky plenty of times, but I think he's played 35 minutes in 6 straight games. Just what does that say about his durability and stamina to not only play that long, but pick up more of a scoring load as well?
Yeah. He's playing a lot of minutes. We need Chucky right now to be our point guard for 38 minutes, to take tickets, to make hot dogs, to sell tickets, sweep the floor after the game. He's doing a lot. He's got a big responsibility, and it's hard, playing that much, especially on the defensive end, to stay engaged and to stay consistent with your defensive principles when you're exhausted sometimes. So we're trying to use, our timeouts intelligently to get him some extra rest from time to time. But as I said once before, from a point guard standpoint, if we were a pitching staff, it would be Chucky Hepburn and pray for rain. But he's doing a great job handling all that responsibility. He's an absolute warrior. He's a phenomenal point guard, one of the best I've ever coached.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
Incredibly proud of our guys. It was a classic rivalry game. Louisville, hats off to them. I mean, those guys are playing so hard right now, doing it shorthanded, and Pat is doing an unbelievable job coaching that group, and they got a ton of fight and a ton of heart and leadership and seniority, and they had guys making big plays and making shots, which they haven't done as much lately, and so they should be super proud. And our guys just kept fighting and got the win. Couldn't be happier for our guys.
Mark, would you have had to tie Lamont down to keep him out of the game today?
Yeah, so, hey, listen, you know what? Well, first of all, I was joking with the guys after. On the way off the floor, Lamont's agent called me and was like, okay, he's only playing every 10 days. He's taking the rest of the time off. Unbelievable credit to him. My goodness, what an incredible, Lamont Butler just gave us one of the all-time greatest performances in the history of this super special game. It's all-time. The numbers back it up. The way he came into it backs it up. And you think about, when you go out and you're trying to recruit, and our guys, our staff is so good, and those guys identify a winner, then this is what you get from him, right? And he just, I'm so proud of him, and I'm major credit. I've been, you know, looking at my performance team side-eyed for the last 10 days. It's, you know, this, I'm telling you, this Brandon Wells is probably the best in the entire business. He's incredible. And for Randy to have limited access, but to be creative enough to keep Lamont in playing condition without him being able to set foot on this ankle for a week is really remarkable. You know, we weren't proceeding with caution. We weren't just holding him out of gameplay because we wanted him to get a bunch of practice under belt. He really hasn't done anything. Everything has been auxiliary. And so we're just blessed at Kentucky to have two of the best guys in the whole business of doing it. And it's a real credit to Lamont, his heart. It's a real credit to Brandon and Randy, man. What an unbelievable team they were. So hats off to those guys.
Michael Bennett with Just the Cats, right here.
Yep.
Back in October, your wife talked about an annoying mole in the backyard. How's it feel to beat that mole for the first time?
Well, one mole down, one to go, guys. And that one in the backyard, a little more pesky. It is a problem. That is really frustrating, but we'll work on it. But listen, it's my guys know it, man. It's an honor to be a part of this this great game. And it's really special to be able to kind of put their name in the book and imprint it, and it had everything that you expect out of this game. It was pretty special.
Mark, back here, the moments back here in the cameras, the moments with Lamont out of the game, obviously those could be worrisome. They were tough, but they weren't bad. It seemed like, you know, Andrew Carr got that big tip in right before the under 8 timeout, you know, so they got timely buckets. But how do you feel about those moments? And you are going to have to deal with those moments when he's not in the game without Kerr.
Well, the first time I checked him out, we turned it over in the backcourt for Lev. That wasn't great. But after that, you know, listen, I mean, I haven't even looked at TP's minutes. TP played 6 minutes and 42 seconds. And they were probably like, you know, 17-second stints, basically. He was great. I mean, he kind of kept it under control. He was really solid defensively, kind of had some makeup ability. The staff has worked really hard on kind of figuring out rotations about who we can have in the game when Lamont's out right now. And I thought guys were great. And so, you know, it's important. I mean, you know, I'm not sure if our design is to have Lamont playing 32 every night, but he did it tonight, and the other 8 worked.
Mark, sometimes this rivalry has kind of been defined by some of the tension in it, skirmishes, that kind of stuff. But tonight, outside of the one little hubbub in front of the bench, it seemed like it was more defined by respect and, you know, just playing at a high level. What do you attribute that to? Is it kind of the new chapter of the rivalry?
Listen, I think that you have two veteran groups that are pretty focused on the way they compete the best, the way they give themselves the best chance to win, is to be laser focused on the job at hand and be super disciplined and about not letting the emotion be a distracting factor, if that makes sense. And I was really proud of our guys. I mean, listen, you know, it wouldn't have been an appropriate game if you know, it was a tension-filled mosh pit down in front of their bench. That was probably the most fun part of the game, right? But I think you have two organizations right now that have insane amount of passion about winning and feel all of the joy and intensity and stress of this rivalry, but also are pretty good about being focused about what actually makes you play the best to give yourself the best chance to win. I really think both programs are probably in that space somewhere.
Mark, another one for Lamont. Just how much does his mere presence kind of open things up for everybody else? Yeah. 3 other guys with 4 assists. I think Ortega had 3 assists.
Yeah, it's really important, especially the way Louisville was playing us. I mean, they stayed really, really pushed out. And so him getting downhill to the rim was really important because when he got down there, there was a lot of space to operate. And he has such a terrific burst, man. He's got a really special burst. It matters. His ability to get downhill was really important.
Mark, what is it about? It seems like Ortega has kind of a knack for closing games for you guys. I think he made 3 massive plays down the stretch. What is it about him?
Yep. He, you know what? One of the great things about O is he's just in the moment. I think he's got a pretty great capacity of just being dialed into the moment and not spending a lot of time worried about the consequences or what might happen or what just did happen. He's pretty good at being present. He's actually really good at it. I got a story I want to tell, but I'm not sure if I should. Yeah, oh, you guys. So we had a really fun moment. You know, our guys are, you know, we're in this space, talk about, it just hit me because talk about being present. So our guys have made a renewed commitment to be present in class every day. And Ortega happens to have an early morning class where he's getting better and better at being present. So a couple days ago, it was all hands on deck, making sure he was there. And 2 minutes after class, we got a video from him of him sitting in an empty classroom because class was canceled and we didn't know about it. So he is the epitome of present. In fact, I'm going to try and get him to put out the video. I'll try and get him to post it. It's actually so delightful because he doesn't even really say anything. He's just like, and so he's present. He's really present. He's present in class. He's present on the court. He's present in the closing minutes.
Coach, looks like you were talking about the rotation. You guys ended up playing Brandon Garrison 23 minutes opposed to Amari at 16 tonight. Ended up working out for you. Garrison played some big minutes there at the end. What made you make that adjustment tonight?
Yeah, I thought BG was giving us great energy. It's fun with those two guys, man. They love each other, and they both want to play 40 minutes. They're both starving to play, and they both cheer for each other, and it's really a beautiful thing. Amari has been such an incredible big brother to BG. In fact, both of them, you know, so Amari, every time he throws a great pass, is running down the court doing the eyes, and now BG's doing it. BG did it tonight. It's actually really fun. And so, you know, BG kind of had a good vibe out there, and both those guys, you know, were trying to manage their energy so they could kind of keep up. And I thought BG was terrific tonight. I thought he was really, really good.
Mark, as you were pulling together all these disparate parts for the first time, when was it and what was it that made you think this is actually going to work?
Well, I think it's been when I've seen the guys off the court actually more than on the court. I think we had a really good sense of off the court, of on the court, the guy's skill set. And we're still learning how to do it. Like tonight, it was just like, there's so many moments where like our ceiling is so much higher than where we are right now in terms of the way we execute and understanding why we're doing it. We have so much growth we can do. But I think it was probably, there were a couple moments that I've talked about a lot where I saw during the summer guys going out of their way to really go be together. Andrew Carr is like the dad of the team, and he's been incredible. And Lamont Butler is like, takes care of each of these guys one by one. Like, I can't tell how many stories I've heard about someone's having a tough time, and all of a sudden Lamont shows up, and he's gone way out of his way to actually just reroute that person's day and the way he feels. And you know, we went on a service retreat to Eastern Kentucky, and the guys, there's a couple things I saw that I loved. One, you know, it's you know, it wasn't the guys' idea to go you know, do some reconstruction projects on some of these flooded out areas, but they went and you know, it was a 2.5 day affair, but it's still, you know, 8 or 10 hours of work a day, and like there wasn't a single moment where anybody was hiding. Like the staff, we all just kind of finished that, and we were shaking our heads, and we're like, man, you know, we didn't have anybody hiding. We never had anybody complaining. It was like the guys were like, it probably wasn't their favorite thing in the world to do, but they were like, hey, we're here, we're going to work, and we're going to work for 10 hours, and we're going to work for 10 hours tomorrow. And you see things like that. And then we had at the end of that, we had a devotional where the guys kind of each made one very specific commitment to the team out loud, just with only the team there. And you heard how thoughtful the guys were about what they were going to give to the team this year. And you see all these little moments like, oh, it was off the court stuff where I'm like, okay, we got a chance, man. We have some staying power and some resilience, and we have unbelievable young guys. Unbelievable. It's very cool. Good group.
Mark here. Having played in this rivalry twice as a player and obviously watching it as a fan in the years since, what did it feel like to be the coach on the Kentucky sideline this time?
It was fun. So can I be honest? You guys know I have a terrible memory, but so I actually was with Leanne yesterday, and it was last night as we're sitting there trying to figure, and so I looked up the 2 games that I actually played in, and the game my junior year we lost by 2 at Louisville, and when I saw it, I was like, wait, what? And then I remember, so I promise you, I remember now. It was like locked away. The bus ride home from Louisville, I was in a full-on, like, teary-eyed sweat last night. I had blocked it out of my memory. Like, I had, and all of a sudden it all come rushing back. Whew. I mean, it's like I'm starting to, like, sweat right now. You get locked in the bus with Coach P for an hour and a half after a 2-point loss against Louisville. Oh, I won't wish that on any of you, actually. I bet only half you guys would come out alive. I kid you not. And then our senior year, we kind of had a runaway win, but our Nate Schwacke and Jake Most. And our and Billy Toombs, our like media and alumni team did something really cool that I thought was so special. I don't know if you've seen it, but they found 15 players, former players, and they had them each write a letter to our 15 current players about what this game means to them. And that probably says it better than I ever could. If you haven't seen it, take a look at it. It's really special to our guys, and I think it's what Kentucky basketball is, man. It's generation after generation being connected and understanding what it means. But those letters, I got a copy of each of them on my desk. They're really, really special to me, and I think they're special to our guys. And sometime, 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, our guys are going to be writing letters to the next generation of players and keeping this connection going, and that's really special. It's super cool. So that's the good and the bad of my memories about Louisville. Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.